Here's what happened at Valkenswaard, third round of the FIM MX2 MX1 World Motocross Championship. Coming into turn one in the first race, Jeffrey Hurlings, the 15-year-old sensation on home soil, riding his first ever Dutch Grand Prix, stormed out of the blocks and was pretty much never headed. Behind him, Ken Roxon, number 94, battled with his teammate Arnold Tonus, Sean Simpson, and everybody else in order to claim a very, very hard-fought second place at the flag. But Marvin Muscan, our championship leader, he started in 21st position, having qualified quite poorly after a big crash on the Saturday. And he ended up losing the rear brake as well, so he ended up finishing in 8th position. Arnold Tonus, though, he fell out of 3rd position, ended up dropping back to 5th. But it was all eyes on number 111, Jeffrey Hurlings, who romped ahead to victory from Ken Roxon. Sean Simpson ended up 3rd from Stephen Frossard and Arnold Tonus. Christophe Charlier was having a good ride as well, who eventually came home in 6th, but it was all about that man there, Hurlings. For the MX1 guys, their first race looked a little bit like this. Tony Cairoli, number 222, our championship leader, stormed out of the blocks, got to turn 2 in first place and was never headed. Behind him, though, there were all kinds of battles going on with the likes of Evgeny Bobryshev, number 777 on the CAS Honda, and Big Ken Dedijker on the Richie Yamaha, who then went and made a pass on Max Nagel, who got spooked, landed short, caught the side of the bank and went down. Just after that, Ken Dedijker also fell. But those two picked up and resumed normal proceedings, but then they came under pressure from the likes of David Philipparts and Steve Ramon. But this battle was very intense for the majority of the race. Steve Ramon, number 11 on the Tekka Suzuki, and David Philipparts on the Monster Energy Rinaldi Yamaha there, number 19 in black. They ended up 2nd and 3rd, but it was a win for Cairoli. MX2 race 2. All eyes were once again on Jeffrey Hurlings. Could he repeat the performance from race 1? Well, it was Jack Nichols on the Red Bull HM Plant KTM who stormed into the lead from Dennis Verbruggen. Hurlings was 3rd initially, but hard charging was Ken Roxon. Already about 9 seconds behind Hurlings at that point. When he moved into 2nd position, that race was pretty much over for him. Behind him, though, Christophe Charlier, Jake Nichols, Stephen Frossard and Arnold Tonus and Sean Simpson were all trading places throughout the remainder of the race. Marvin Muscan, he got up into 3rd position and at that point still had a 3-point lead in the championship, but he made a mistake on the 2 laps to go. And as a result, that would cost him the championship lead. Jeffrey Hurlings, though, would go on to take the 2nd win, and Ken Roxon would go on to take the championship lead. But it was a good day for Hurlings, winning his home Grand Prix, his first ever victory, and doing it on home soil with a double moto win as well, much to the delight of the Dutch crowd. Final race of the day, MX1 race 2. It looked like a good jump there for David Guarneri on the LS Motors Honda, but he ran wide, and then as he got into turn 2, got into all kinds of trouble with David Philipparts and Evgeny Bobryshev, and that dropped him way down the order. But up front, though, it was number 19, David Philipparts and Tony Cairoli, who were having a few games here. Then Philipparts squared off the corner too early, and Cairoli had nowhere to go, dropped himself back down to 5th. Then it was a battle between Philipparts and Ramon. Eventually, Philipparts dropped back a little bit. Tano Leop was up in the mix in 2nd position. Then Cairoli found his mojo and got back into 3rd position. Then Philipparts and Tano Leop, they started to trade places. So too did Tony Cairoli, who was very lucky to get away with this as he challenged number 11, Steve Ramon on the Tekka Suzuki for the win in the closing stages. But then Tony Cairoli finally got his revenge and found a way past the Tekka Suzuki rider, and the Red Bull KTM rider Tony Cairoli, our championship leader, went on to take the 2nd win and the overall.